Hey, it's Monday, September 26, 2011. I'm Eddie Bluff, the Site Seeker, your partner for online success, and I want to talk today about BizBuzz. BizBuzz Social Media Conference coming up at the Holiday Inn Convention Center in Syracuse, New York, just right around the corner, Tuesday, November 1st. It's going to be an all-day event. It's going to start at 8 a.m. and doors are going to close at 7 p.m. It's a very cool event that offers business owners and Marcom professionals a look at the best practices for using social media productively. And I happen to be here today with Levi Spires, who's my partner at SiteSeeker and our Vice President of Operations. And he's going to be one of the speakers at BizBuzz. How you doing, Levi?
Hey, Eddie. How you doing today? You ready for BizBuzz?
I'm excited, man. I'm really pumped. It's coming up quickly. There's a lot of big-name speakers coming up, and you happen to be one of them. You excited about that?
Well, it's nice to be known as a big name. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited about BizBuzz too. I remember last time we did BizBuzz, there was the big board.
Yeah, with the tweets rolling behind it.
The Twitter feed was a classic and something that I hope isn't as distracting for our speakers this year, but at the same point in time is around so we can kind of see a live tracking of what's happening at the event.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool event. Hey, what are you going to be talking about?
Well, I'm going to be talking about metrics, specifically social media metrics, and how do you know if a social media account is worth your while? It kind of starts off with the premise of, is a return on investment even calculable for a Twitter account, for example? And then kind of go about some standard metrics, things like clout, number of likes on Facebook and those things. And then a way for you, or maybe not you, but any business owner can actually calculate their time spent using social media and a return on that investment. So that's what I'm going to be working on.
Yeah, that is such a hot topic. Everybody's always questioning about the return on investment, so that's going to be really cool. Tell us a little bit, Levi, how did you get started with social media?
It's kind of what I have to do, right? It's our job here.
Yeah.
And now the bottom line is that my family lives in Georgia. My wife's family lives in Hawaii. My friendships are all around the world through the military, and I realized that things like Facebook, Twitter, gave me a chance to communicate just to friends and family. And then, if you actually follow my Twitter feed, I'm pretty active in a lot of circles in the world of politics, economics, accounting, internet marketing, you name it, golf. And so social media gives me a chance to just share my voice throughout the world. And sometimes I even get people to respond.
You do, man. I see your feeds all the time. Another question. So the end of time, if you could just pick one platform to use, you can only have one. I'm not going to give you two. You can only have one. Which one would it be and why?
Well, Facebook is the biggest. And LinkedIn is probably the most valuable for business. But I just like Twitter. Twitter is the easiest of them for me to do. Between the lists, the constant new information coming in on a regular basis, and quite frankly, the ease of putting together 140 characters versus a Tumblr blog post or something along the lines, I think Twitter is the one I would pick. And I recommend Twitter to everybody. Maybe not even just a post, but just to kind of read. If you ever get a chance to watch big events in the world, the Egyptian protests, right, or an NFL football game, I challenge you to take a look at Twitter, find a couple of hashtags, and just read it. It's a great platform, and that's what I recommend. That's
a lot going on right now with Occupy Wall Street. It's all over Twitter, so yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, any funny stories, any blunders, anything comical you want to share?
Well, I decided to use social media and come out of the closet and be myself. I decided not to have multiple platforms for multiple personalities, so I get to be who I am. So the Christian kind of golfer guy that I am is who I am on Twitter, and I don't try to manage it for business and pleasure and separate my life out. But I don't have a social media story, but something did come to my mind relative to social media. In 1996, we got computers on our desk in the military. If you can imagine, there's a time before computers, right? And there was this program called GroupWise that we could use to send instant messages to each other on different desks. And a guy named Brad Martin is a friend of mine. He kept sending me all these messages saying, like, Levi, you're a dummy. Levi, you can't play golf. And I was a young guy and I just wanted to get back at Brad. And if you can imagine, there's a long list of names. So I scroll through a list of names and I don't see Brad's name there. So I type, Brad, you suck. And I didn't see his name. So I clicked on the whole unit, thinking it'd open up another branch of names,
right.
Give me some options. And I clicked on the whole unit and then boop, it said message sent. And all of a sudden I look at my computer and there it says, Brad, you suck. And I turn around and look. I see it on my coworkers, and I can see it all around the office. Everybody's message says, Brad, you suck. And, of course, we had more than one Brad in my unit in the Air Force. So I go running upstairs to go see the commander. And I was just a two-striper at the time, maybe a one-striper. And Colonel Wardley Nini, I think was her name. Or maybe it was Mary Rook, either which, it doesn't matter. She said, in addition to, preventing you from using this program ever again, Levi, we're going to put some sort of filter for foul language.
Did you get to keep your stripe?
So I guess I didn't lose a stripe.
That's good.
I survived, but I guess the only point to that funny story is that once you put something into digital content, it'll be there forever, and that's why I decided to be myself on the internet instead of trying to have multiple personalities and try to manage that.
Hey, in closing, any advice to Marcom pros, to newbies, to intermediate users, to business owners on social media and how to use it productively?
Yeah, well, there's definitely workflow options that you could do to use social media. I mean, you don't have to be on Facebook all day long to be productive with it. But I think the number one thing I would tell folks is to just engage. I think the challenge that most businesses have is, and this is what I'm going to be talking about, they try to measure ROI or try to create some sort of calculation before they get started. They say, well, how many Twitter followers do I need? And they start to create this whole big mess of numbers before they get started. So the best thing you can do is just get started, engage, set up a routine, do it on a regular basis, and then go back over a period of time and measure the results that you've gotten.
Good advice, man. Hey, thanks a lot, Levi. I appreciate it, folks. BizBuzzSocialMediaConference.com. Tuesday, November 1st, Syracuse, Holiday Inn Convention Center. See you there.
See you there.